What is up, everyone? James Baek here. Welcome to another episode of the Battle Spot Doubles Climb. We are on the Doubles Battle Spot and we're just playing it for fun. Really enjoyed the Battle Spot Doubles. It's a bit kind of weird now with all the Z moves. I'm not really a huge fan of Z moves in Best of 1. So, yeah, but it's still pretty fun. We're going to go against a Japanese player with a 1600 rating, I believe. With the team of Talonflame, Garchomp, Blastoise, Tapu Koko, Absol, and Ninetales. Very interesting. So, 3 potential Mega Evolutions, Garchomp, Blastoise, and Absol. I would assume Absol would be a Mega, and Blastoise could be a Mega too. So I like Tyranitar Salamence as a lead. It just puts on so much pressure against my opponent. Porygon 2 is pretty good here because unless the Absol carries knockoff or it's a Mega Blastoise with Aura Spear, he can't really damage my team. So I want, actually, Rotom-Wash looks pretty good as well. Okay, I want Salamence for sure because it is my Mega Evolution with Intimidate. Rotom-Wash could be a good Pokemon in the back. Although I like Porygon 2 better, to be honest. But Tapu Lele, actually no, I like Tapu Lele because of the Psychic Surge, and leading it makes my team less weaker to Tapu Koko. This time I Tyranitar Escadrille in the back. Let's see how this goes. Porygon 2 would have been nice because basically my opponent couldn't handle Porygon 2 really. But we'll see. I wonder what the Z move is going to be for my opponent. I wouldn't assume Mega Garchomp. It's not very common in doubles or singles or in general. So I don't know what it will be. But let's see. Salamence Tapu Lele will lead against my opponent's Talonflame Garchomp. So this is pretty ideal of a lead here. We get the Psychic Surge up, and this prevents Talonflame from going for any Brave Bird or potential Z move from the Talonflame as well. Psychic Surge will activate. Let's see. I think I can just click Hyper Voice here. I see nothing wrong with just going for a Hyper Voice here and getting, or I can match Tailwind. I actually like Tailwind better. Yeah, I like Tailwind better. Match Tailwind on Talonflame in case it has it. And I'll go for the Moonblast in the Garchomp. Try to pick up a knockout. I'm not really driving my Talonflame with my Tyranitar in the back. Escadrille with Rock Slide. Salamence is already intimidated and it won't take any damage since Talonflame cannot go for any flying type attacks in this terrain unless it's Flame Body Talonflame for some reason. And even though Garchomp's not much of a threat, Tectonic Rage is still pretty scary. It's also a big threat to my Sand in the back, so I'd rather get the damage on Garchomp that I need now. Talonflame either going to go for a Fire type attack, Tailwind, maybe Taunt or Will-O-Wisp. I could definitely see one of those options being here. But let's see. I'm not even sure if Moonblast will be able to pick up the knockout on Garchomp, to be honest. Could be Assault Vest Garchomp too. But my opponent's taking his or her sweet time. And no switch is going to come out from my opponent. That's great. I don't have to worry about Ninetales possibly being a threat this turn. Get Salamence in here. Let's see what my opponent's going to go for. My opponent is just going to set up the Tailwind of his own. So that is fine, as I am guaranteed to get my Tailwind. Oh, it's actually Garchomp. Dragon Claw into Tapu Lele. Maybe reading a switch? I don't know. Going for the Psychic in the Garchomp. Oh, I thought I clicked Moonblast, but that's fine. I actually like Garchomp. Okay, so it's Garchomp. We did learn that. I have a very safe Hyper Voice here. And I think Psychic in the Talonflame, I can honestly just pick up a double knockout right here, I believe, because Garchomp combined with Talonflame, if it's choice locked into Dragon Claw, can't knock out my Salamence. And it can't touch my Tapu Lele either, even a double target. Unless it carries like something weird on the Talonflame that we haven't seen, like maybe Natural Gift, Hidden Power, Ice. I don't know. Like, you never know what to expect on the Battle Spot Doubles ladder. We're going to see Garchomp withdraw. I'm going to go out into the Tapu Koko, which is good for him because he's able to reset the terrain. However, he should be losing the Talonflame. But Talonflame's able to get Z move off now, which it is going to go for the Z move. It's going to be the... Looks like Supersonic Sky Strike unless I went for Z Tailwind for some reason. So let's see. I wonder if it'll target like... Okay, Lele. It won't pick up the knockout because of the Intimidate and definitely not the Salamence. But you might try to put the Salamence in Dazzling Gleam range. It's going to target down to Lele. We should be able to survive this easily. Yep. And we're going to get the Hyper Voice off, and this should be able to do a lot of damage. Yep, maybe I should have Psychic the Coco slot, the Garchomp slot in case, but I just wanted to knock down Talonflame. This prevents him from setting up Tailwind in the future of the game, so once I get my Tailwind up, and once these Tailwinds expire, I'm going to have full speed control in this game. Garchomp's going to come out. I wonder what my opponent will lock himself into. Dazzling Gleam won't knock out Tapu Lele. The only thing that could really knock me out is Discharge. So I'm going to scout if my opponent has it or not. We'll probably just see Dragon Claw and I assume Dazzling Gleam or Discharge. Maybe Thunderbolt until Lele try to pick up the knockout. But then you're leaving Salamence in. Okay, so Double Protect is going to come out here. Let's see what my opponent decides to lock himself into. Double Protect. Probably Dragon Claw, Dazzling Gleam, Dragon Claw. And, yep, Dazzling Gleam. That won't knock out Lele, unless he's Choice Specs, because I don't think Life Orb knocks him out. But I feel like I have a very safe play, actually, of double switching here. Yeah, I like the double switch. Go into Tyranitar, go into Excadrill. These Pokemon can't really do much to my Tyranitar plus Excadrill combo. And what I'm going to try to set myself up for is the Sand, where I can go for Earthquake, knock out the Garchomp and Coco, and force out the Ninetales, and I can always switch my Tyranitar back out into Tyranitar. So I'm fine with this play. I'm going to force him to basically either sack both of these mons, or break the Ninetales Focus Sash, or switch to the Ninetales if my opponent has it. Dragon Claw gonna go into Tyranitar. That does a lot more than I thought, actually, but we see Thunderbolt into the Escadrille slot, so that's fine. If Dazzling Gleam was on the Tyranitar slot, that actually might have been pretty scary. Tailwind is gonna peter out for both sides. And I could just switch out Tyranitar hard into Salamence and go for the Earthquake. And Excadrill under the Sand will be able to outspeed Garchomp plus Tapu Koko and knock out both of these Pokemon. So we're probably forced to see my opponent go for a switch here, which would be fine by me. I'm pretty sure you'll switch out the Garchomp. We're not going to see a Tapu Koko switch, so I'm guessing Tapu Koko protects and Ninetales comes in. Oh, he actually stays in. Okay, that's fine. So Tapu Koko is going to protect. We're going to get the Earthquake off, and that will knock out the Garchomp 100%. And now it depends on what my opponent's last Pokemon is. Is it Blastoise? Absol's not really a big threat. Blastoise could be annoying, but I don't think it's like... I don't think it can come back from this position. Even Ninetales can't come back from this position. Because we already saw the Scarf on Garchomp, so it can't be Scarf Ninetales, so... Well, as Blastoise comes out, so it's actually Blastoise in the back. That's fine. I can go for a Double Edge Earthquake. That might be able to knock out Blastoise, depending on its investment. So just click Earthquake and Double Edge. That should just be able to knock out the Blastoise. It is going to be Mega Blastoise, so... I wonder if it can do work. I'm not sure. Did I actually show that? No, that was on stream with the Mega Blastoise. Oh yeah, I remember. Earthquake's going to come off. Knock out this Tapu Koko. Should do about 30 to 40% on the Blastoise. About 40%. I'm guessing that's like 4 HP Blastoise. Yep, no crit. So that should be like 4 HP Blastoise. Here comes the Double Edge. This should definitely pick up the knockout. Single target. Gone. And we'll take a nice 4-0 for the beginning of the game. I don't think my opponent was that inexperienced. I mean, the Absol is a bit questionable, but the rest of his team could have functioned pretty well. But it's interesting to see Hail on Ninetales with Talonflame combined, because Gale Wings did get nerfed in this generation, where you have to be full HP in order to have Gale Wings activate. So it's very questionable having Hail plus Gale Wings, because that can get rid of your Gale Wings. So that is kind of questionable, to be honest, but let's find another team. But if you guys don't know, I am doing side series still. Don't worry, I'm still doing side series. I haven't been updating as much because I've been doing some other work, and I've been working on some VTC projects that I want to do. So those will be definitely uploaded when I finish them. As we're going to find YH from Japan with a 70-10 rating. And a lot of you people actually really like the Battle Spot Double Series. You have been giving me a lot of support, so I really love to continue these side series. So we're going to see Ninetales Mamoswine, Tapu Lele, Arcanine, Porygon 2, and Rockrunnin. So Ooh, Porygon 2 is a bit annoying to deal with, but we do have Toxic on our own Porygon 2, so it's not that bad. Do I like Escadrille here? I guess that's a big question. Rotom-Wash does extreme work against my opponent's team, against the Mamoswine, the Arcanine, and the Araquanid, and be able to one-hit KO all of those. Do I like Escadrille? Because Escadrille hits like everything on my opponent's team. But do I need Excadrill? That's the question. Alright. I definitely want to lead Porygon 2. I don't want to lead Tyranitar. I want Tyranitar in the back. I think I'll go Porygon 2 Rotom or Porygon 2 Salamence. Salamence actually seems good for me. Tyranitar, and I actually like Rotom in the back more than Excadrill. The reason I like Rotom is because I can switch into Blizzards more safely. So we'll see how this goes. I also don't like how, even because we could get our Focus Sash broken here, and the rest of his team can outspeed and knock out Excadrill if I don't have the Sand Up. So I kind of don't want to bring Excadrill, to be honest. Maybe it would be a game 2 if this was a best of 3, but let's see. Porygon 2 Tapu Lele will take the lead. Now, we'll find out who is faster between the Lele and the Salamence right here. My Salamence is faster, so I can get a double edge off onto Lele, but Lele might protect, or Arcanine might want to come in. To be honest, he should be worried about the Porygon 2. He could just protect Ice Beam. I think that's a very safe play my opponent has. Do I want to play risky first turn? Because if I get rid of the Lele here, it's really good for the rest of my team. The thing I want to click is Toxic on the Porygon 2. He might also just protect Trick Room. I think I want to go for the double edge into Lele and try to pick up a knockout, because I would really love this Lele out of the way as fast as I can. And losing Salamence is pretty bad, but it's not like the worst case scenario. I think Porygon 2 can just beat his entire team, to be honest, with Toxic and Recover. So we'll see how this goes. We might see Lele switch on to Arcanine and Ice Beam. I could definitely see that play as well, but I wouldn't mind that. Lele's going to switch out. Probably Arcanine. Oh, Rockrunnit. That's not bad for me at all. Okay, I'll take a knockout. So, I don't know. Bringing a Rockrunnit there, I would assume Trick Room's going to be set up. Because why would you bring out a Rockrunnit in front of a Mega Sal? Well, he could Ice Beam, I guess. But I am going to get a knock on the Rockrunnit, and the Rockrunnit goes down. That's a huge threat out of the field, because that could have swept my entire team under Trick Room, other than my Rotom. We do get the Toxic off into his Porygon 2, but let's see what the Porygon 2 goes for. Is it an Ice Beam? Is it a Trick Room? I would assume Trick Room, to be honest. It's just going to be the Ice Beam, actually. Okay. So we trade our Salamence for his Rockrunnit. I'll take that trade. If it's Ninetales in the back, that's fine, but I can just go straight out into my Rotom, I think, as a safe Pokemon, because he has either Arcanine, Mamoswine, or Ninetales in the back. If it's Arcanine or Mamoswine, I can Hydro Pump. If Lele wants to come back in, that's fine. And if it's Ninetales, I can always switch on to my Tyranitar. So either way, I feel like I have a safe position here. I wonder what my... I think Lele will come back in, to be honest. But we'll see. Because Lele is pretty safe unless I brought out Excadrill here. I mean, I could bring out Excadrill if my opponent suspects me to have Excadrill in the back. So, must be a really hard choice. Rotom going to come out as we're going to see the Mamoswine, actually. So, alright. I wonder if this is the Snowcloak Mamoswine or the Thick Fat. Well, I'm just going to... knockoff on Mamoswine could be annoying if it does carry knockoff, but just double target a Mamoswine. Porygon 2 can't do much to my team. Maybe try attack or return if it carries it, but getting rid of Mamoswine helps my Tyranitar set up for a win potentially. And I also want to catch Lele on the switch if it decides to switch out. So I'm pretty fine with the positioning here, because once I get rid of Lele, I think my Porygon 2 can just win the game, unless his Porygon 2 carries Toxic. We missed a Hydro Pump. That's pretty bad. A Icicle Crash, probably targeting down the Rotom. It's actually targeting down the Porygon 2. That did so much damage. It's Life Orb, okay. We do double Void and the Ice Beam. Okay. That's actually not too bad, as long as he doesn't freeze me. Good. So Life Orb, Mamoswine, that's good. We outspeed the Mamoswine, we already confirmed that, and we can recover here. And Hydro Pump. The only way this is bad is if he crits the Icicle Crash, because I don't think Icicle Crash knocks my Porygon 2 out at that range. Or flinches me and I miss Hydro Pump. That's the only way this turn could go bad. And this is why I don't really like Rotom-Wash. Hydro Pump is just not the best move. It is not the best move. Let's see. He doesn't exactly have a play because you don't want Lele to take any damage because the Lele is potentially your win condition. Hydro Pump does connect with the Mamoswine this time. That will pick up a knockout on the Mamoswine. So my opponent's down 2 Pokemon and we can get a recover off. I don't know what this Porygon 2 will go for. Maybe it's an Ice Beam, maybe it's a Tri-Attack. Trick Room could definitely be brought out if it's a slow Lele, but Porygon 2 is almost at full. We'll see the Ice Beam come out back into the Porygon 2, I imagine. Yep. Oh, that's not fun. That's not fun. The second Ice Beam too. Okay, this could go really bad. Although we're not in the worst position here. His Porygon 2 is taking a lot of Toxic since it's been out on the field for a pretty long time. What I can do here is I can just go for a Recover again. And I'm going to get damage on the Lele and try to put in the Rock Slide range for my Scar Tyranitar. This is still pretty risky. Oh, he's actually really slow Lele. As we get the Thunderbolt off, does about 40%, which is pretty good. As Psychic will come out, probably target Rotom. Yep, he's going to target Rotom. I wonder what the Porygon 2 will do. Is it going to be a Trick Room? Is it going to be a Recover? Is it a Toxic? Oh, we actually unfall with Porygon 2. That's great. That's great. That's actually really good. As we're actually going to see Thunderbolt come out. If he parries me, that's fine, I think. It's better than getting frozen again. Okay, Porygon 2, pretty weakened. I can go out to Tyranitar, and if he doesn't recover this turn, if we hit the Rock Slide, he should be Porygon 2 will go down this turn. I can go for a Rock Slide, or I could go for Crunch, actually. I think Crunch is the better play on Lele, because Crunch should be able to pick up the knockout on Lele. And I think Sand plus Toxic might be able to knock out Porygon 2. So I'll go for the Crunch. A Moonblast won't be able to knock out my Tyranitar, so I know that for a fact. Let's see. Unless he crits the Moonblast. That's always a potential option. But here I just set it up so Tyranitar can win the game. Or Porygon 2. Porygon 2 can still win the game even if he crits the Tyranitar. So no protects coming from my opponent. Might be Specs Lele, to be honest. Crunch is going to be able to pick up the knockout on Lele, and that should be able to win us the game because with the Toxic up, he has to recover here or he is going down this turn, I believe, to Sand and Poison. Nope, just the Ice Beam, and that will be a good game. Into Tyranitar, probably a double up into Tyranitar, hoping that I'm slow and Moonblast plus Ice Beam might be able to knock out the Tyranitar, but that would be a good game. Yeah. So, could have been scary there. I mean, we did. The questionable thing was switching out Lele into a Rockrunnit because maybe my opponent was expecting a Protect, maybe my opponent was expecting a Hyper Voice, but either way, a Rockrunnit was going to take a lot of damage. Maybe my opponent was expecting me to set up Trick Room, but switching to Rockrunnit was way too risky. He took way too much damage. I even got the knockout on Rockrunnit turn 1. And honestly, his Porygon 2 was safe as a lead. He could have just went for the Ice Beam Protect play, I think, or maybe a Trick Room Protect if he really wanted to, unless he expected me to reverse Trick Room or set up my own Trick Room. Not sure still, even if that switch was the best play in general. But yeah, if you do love the Doubles Battle Spot series, please leave a like on the video because it does show your support and how much you want the Battle Spot Doubles series to continue. As well as follow me on Twitch because I do stream Doubles Battle Spot sometimes. Ooh, okay, we got a pretty serious team. We see Cresselia, Sylveon, Landorus Variant, Heatran, Charizard, and the Tapu Lele. So two Mega Evolution potentials from my opponent. Could be Charizard Y or Charizard X. Probably Charizard Y with Heatran and Calm Mind Cresselia. Okay, Salamence is really good here, unless it's Scarf, Lele. Do I want Rotom? That's the question. I like Lele Salamence actually a lot. Yeah, Salamence Lele does a lot of work. I could also lead Tyranitar if I really want to, but Landers, I'm pretty sure Landers is is pretty guaranteed to lead, to be honest, because he doesn't really have much options against Tyranitar. And with Tyranitar and I think Excadrill in the back, or do I want Porygon too? Because Excadrill beats the Sylveon, it beats the Heatran and Lele, Charizard. Yeah, I actually like Escadrille. I was thinking of Porygon too because Calm Mind Cresselia could be a bit of a nuisance. But we have our Tyranitar for that. So let's see how this game is going to go. I'm pretty sure Landers will lead and want to switch out right away. It's probably Scarf Landers. That's usually the common set we see on these teams. But it could be Assault Vest as well. Or it could be Groundium Z because I don't know what the Z move is. At least I know with Sylveon, Breakneck Blitz does not get boosted by Pixelate. Alright, so we actually see, good old classic Cresselia Heatran. Ooh, this is pretty interesting actually. He has a very free Ice Beam, I think. He has a pretty free Ice Beam Heat Wave. This isn't a good lead for me. Does Double Edge plus Shattered Psyche pick up the knockout? That's a potential. I think my best play is to go out into Tyranitar and click Taunt into Cresselia, I think, because I don't want Trick Room, I don't want Heatran to get a skill swap. This is pretty bad because Heatran could get a free substitute up if it really wants to. Although I'm not sure if he would sub up in this position. Flash Cannon's also a potential move. We could also see Icy Wind from this Cresselia because Calm Mind Cresselia on Sun teams usually run Icy Wind, but we'll bring out Tyranitar. Tyranitar can take hits from these Pokemon pretty easily. Flash Cannon will hurt a bit, but it's not the worst. That's a very fast Heatran. As Heat Wave's gonna come out. Don't burn. Okay, the Lele is fine. The Tyranitar I need healthy. We're gonna get the Taunt off into Cresselia. Icy Wind? Trick Room, actually. Okay. Okay, the question is, I don't know what the Heatran's gonna do. I think Rock Slide is my best play just because it hits both these Pokemon for pretty big damage. I'll go for the Shattered Psyche, but should I target the Cresselia or Heatran? Maybe my opponent will expect Superpower and switch out into Landers, but I don't know which slot he would switch it out to. I don't think Cresselia stays in, but I do want to damage the Heatran and put in Rock Slide range still. So I think it is the better play to go for the Shattered Psyche and the Heatran. It also helps again for my Salamence. Yeah, we're going to see Cresselia withdraw, and if it's a Landers. Yep. Should have Shattered Psyche that slot. Should have went with my gut. But I wanted damage on the Heatran. Rock Slide does come out and hit both Pokemon. This is going to do a decent amount to both, even at -1. That did a little less to the Landers than I thought. As Psychic's going to get set up. Ooh, that's... Alright, because we break the sub here. I wonder what my opponent's going to go for the following turn, though, because you can't Earthquake yourself. Maybe switch into Cresselia and Earthquake. I could definitely see that play. We are going to get a Shattered Psyche, though, and this will definitely break the Heatran substitute. It's fast Heatran, so I'm pretty sure Shattered Psyche should be able to break the sub. Imagine Z moves went through substitute, though. That would be insane. Luckily, they don't, as Heatran sub will break. Unfortunately, I can't gauge on speed, and Lele's taking a lot of damage, but I think Lele has done its job, basically. I'm going to switch out my Tyranitar and go out into Salamence because he doesn't have a really big way, even if he predicts this. The only way he could really get benefits off is switching out into Cresselia. So I'm going to try to Psychic this Landers, and if I can let the Earthquake with Lele, I get a lot of damage onto this Landers. Maybe even pick up a knockout depending on what kind of investment it is. Landers shouldn't be switching out unless it's, Alright, no, Scartar is faster unless it's Scarf Landers. He could also U-turn here, which would be pretty bad, to be honest, as we're going to see the Heat Wave. That's a very fast Heatran and a very slow Landers. Okay, so Lele survives, but burn on Mint, are you serious? Okay, we get the Psychic off. This will target down the Landers. That's AV for sure. Yep. And Superpower is going to come out and target down the Salamence-Slot. Okay. Oh, that burn is so annoying. That burn is actually really bad. Okay, that burn is annoying for two reasons. One, the main reason is because now... Okay, I'm going to go on to Excadrill here. But I could have just double-edged. Now my double-edge is going to do a lot less damage than I really want to. And I needed the double-edge for the Cresselia. I have a very... I think one of his Pokemon switches out into Cresselia. I think it's going to be the Lander switching out to Cresselia. And that's the thing. I want to double-edge Iron Head that slot. I definitely do expect Heatran to protect here. So I'm just going to Iron Head, try to get as much damage off. And even if Heatran doesn't protect, I do have my Sash on Escadrille. So it's not the end of the world. Maybe Heatran doesn't protect and tries to go for a Heat Wave if it's anticipating me to have a Z move on the Escadrille. That's definitely potential. Well, I already revealed my Z move on Lele, so maybe we won't see that play. But I have to go back into Tyranitar. Very unfortunate for me. I have to get the KO. Nice, we get the Iron Head off, but no switches or protects from my opponent. Is he setting up another sub or Heat Wave? It's just going to be Heat Wave. I wonder if he could get another burn. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I don't think he got the burn. What is Pokemon without these 10% chances? And of course, he has burned everything that does the main damage output to his Cresselia. That's insane. Now there's only actually one chance I can win, and you want to know what that chance is, and I don't even really want to go for it. It's Rock Slide, because Rock Slide is the best move in the game. It hits the Charizard if it wants to come in. He actually goes hard into Charizard. I'm just going to click Rock Slide. I guess you double protect here or something. I don't know. I need flinches to win the game, to be honest. That's actually really dumb. Charizard's going to Mega Evolve. I'm guessing double protect from my opponent just to get rid of the sand, since Escadrille is the fastest Pokemon on the field currently. So I could have withdrawn Tyranitar, but either way, I don't think that's worth it. My Salamence is taking more damage than necessary. He doesn't protect, actually. Maybe not expecting Rock Slide from Escadrille, but, ooh, that does a good amount, actually. Rock Slide does connect with both Pokemon. Ooh, this game is not over yet. Okay, so we need to flinch on Heatran. Come on. Nice. Okay. So we're not out of this game yet. It's still going to be really tough, though. Cresselia is probably going to come out. I click double Rock Slide and try to flinch the Cresselia into a position where I can actually win the game. Let's see if this game is kind. We Rock Slide. We double Rock Slide. Pokemon is the greatest. Okay. You got 3 Heat Wave burns on me. Let's get 3 Rock Slide flinches. So we're going to see the protect from the Heatran. Gonna get the Rock Slide off. Hopefully it does connect. And let's see if this Cresselia is even faster than my Escadrille. If he gets Trick Room up, I think that wins him the game. And I'm pretty sure my opponent's actually gonna go for a Trick Room. Although if my opponent has Icy Wind, he should definitely go for it here. Wow. I don't even have that much luck. Okay, the game is still winnable. I have to protect my Escadrille here and Rock Slide. We'll see. I need Rock Slide to knock out Heatran. I need Tyranitar to survive the turn. Ooh, this is going to be a very tricky battle. Okay, protect on my Escadrille here. Ice Beam's going to go out into the Escadrille slot. And Earth Power. Can we live this with Tyranitar? I think we need to. But we're not in sand, yeah. That would be a good game. So there's nothing I could really do. The Heat Wave burns really hurt because I needed to be able to knock out this Cresselia before I could set up Trick Room. And the main damage outputs that I had were all burn. But that's Pokemon for you. So we're going to take 2 wins and one loss today. Really kind of upsetting loss, but what can you do? But I hope everyone enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like down below. It really shows your support for the series, as well as check out my other stuff, such as the Pokken tournament background, my main series, which is VGC, and of course there's a singles battle spot series as well. And I got a lot of stuff planned for the channel, so stay tuned for those. You can check out my social medias down below if you want to check out anything, like my Twitter, Twitch, or Patreon. Otherwise, I will see you around in the next video.